What is going on, Trident community? Evan from here from Trident Incorporated, back at you with yet another video talking about the sports card hobby. If you can't notice me, I'm down here. I'm down here in the corner. We are doing something a little bit different today. I wanted to expand upon our discussion last week in the last video that we did. You guys can check that out on the YouTube channel right now. I wanted to extend that discussion to this week as well and talk a little bit more about these sports card brands. What we did last week was I ranked my top 5 card sets in my opinion, and all this is my opinion, but I wanted to do a tier list, which if you don't know what this is, it's basically just going to be ranking these card brands here. Tier lists are something you can do for pretty much anything. So I do like to do them in my spare time if I'm bored, but I've decided to make one for card brands, and I have a good bit of brands here. As you can see, we have Origins, Contenders Optic, National Treasures, Phoenix, Rookies and Stars, Illusions, Obsidian, Spectra, Contenders, Score, Immaculate, Prism, Select, Mosaic, Optic, Donruss Clearly, and regular Donruss. So, with that being said, we also have a few tiers. We have the great, really good, good, decent, and not something that I collect, which isn't a slight on that brand. If you like that brand, that is fine. It's just not something that I really collect. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Let's start here with great. Okay. And I do want to put in Optic, and I also want to put in Prism. My top 2 from last week on the list. Just really like both these brands. Both these brands are really, really good. Donruss Optic and Prism. Prism has overtaken it for me at the #1 spot. It's a little spoiler alert. If you guys want to hear my reasoning for that, you guys can go watch the video from last week. But Prism is probably my favorite card set out right now. And this isn't ranking any specific year or anything. So the boxes, they're just boxes that I found, they look cool. So with that being said, I have great being Donruss Optic and Prism. I'm also going to put Immaculate up here. I enjoy Immaculate. I really do enjoy Immaculate. It is something that I find enjoyable to look at. A lot of the patches, a lot of the autos. You can get some cool low numbered stuff of some decent players sometimes for decent prices. So while it wasn't on my list, the last week's list, I was more so looking for retail, lower end retail that you can find in the Target or Walmart. But Immaculate would definitely be something that is up there. But I think that rounds out great. It's great is that's a strong word, right? So I think that rounds out the great. The really good, I would probably put in the really good, I'd probably go Mosaic, and I'd probably go Select. And the reason I would go Select, and let's say NT as well, I would go Select here because I do like the animal prints, as I said in the video before. Zebra, tiger stripe, elephant, really like them. Mosaic, the Genesis are really, really fun, really clean, parallels basically. And National Treasure is another high-end brand. Sometimes can be a little bit higher end than Immaculate. All depends on who you're looking for, but NT is a pretty fun brand as well. Let's get into the good though, and here's where I think you can have some debate. And I'm gonna say I like Spectra. I like Spectra as a good. I like Obsidian. I'm gonna group these two together right now because I feel like they are kind of similar. When you look on eBay, when you look on whatnot, when you look on a lot of these pages, you can find Spectra stuff, Obsidian stuff, patches, low numbered stuff for decent prices. And to me, it's about value too, right? It's about eye appeal, which is something that I think both these brands have, especially Spectra. Sometimes the cards can look really, really awesome sometimes with Spectra, especially. But I think the eye appeal thing is pretty major here. And it's something that I took into account when trying to come up with where I was going to put these tiers. So Spectra and Obsidian, we'll be talking about them in a video here coming up. We're not done talking about card sets. So we will be talking about them in a video here coming up shortly on the channel. But for now, I have them in the good tier. And I think that's a pretty solid spot to put them. I'm also going to put Contenders Optic in the good tier. I like Contenders Optic a good bit. I do. It's funny because you'll see I do not have Contenders in this list. So regular Panini Contenders I do not have in this list, but Contenders Optic I like the look. A lot of the green pulsars, the purple pulsars. Again, something to where if you're looking for value, you can find some pretty low numbered stuff for decent prices there. So I do like that as well. And then I'm also going to go with Don Rush, just simply because nostalgia alone. Don Rush has obviously been around for such a long time, covering so many brands and sports that it's really one of like the OG, right? It's like one of the OG card things. So I think you have to give Don Rush its props, the original Don Rush there. So I'm going to put that in the good. Now, when we go to decent, I am going to put rookies and stars here first. Because I like a lot of their inserts. I do. I like a lot of their inserts. The Airborns, the Thrillers inserts, I think look really cool. There's a lot of things there. Star Studded, I think, is another one. There's a lot of cool inserts there, a lot of cool parallels that you can find in rookies and stars. And again, it's something to where it's not that high tier of a set, so it's affordable. And I think that's what I'm looking for here. I'm not advocating you guys to buy a $1,000 box of NT and rip it. I like you guys, if that's what you want to do, go ahead, but like you guys to have fun with it as well, but also pick up some pretty cool cards. I think rookies and stars does that, so that is something I'm gonna have here. The other one I'm going to have is Phoenix. And again, it's similar to Rookies and Stars because it's something that I find pretty cool insert wise. I do like a lot of their inserts. And again, it's something you can pick up some pretty good players, numbered, low numbered patches for not bad prices. So Phoenix is another one here that I think is decent and something that I do pick up from time to time. Now, I will be looking at stuff that I don't really collect, but first I gotta put Score in the decent category because again, nostalgia. Score has been around for so long and it has been a nostalgic thing for not only me but a lot of people, right? A lot of people probably watching this right now. You probably ripped a lot of Score back in your day, whether it was anything, right? They were just like Don Ross, really covering a lot of different things. So Score, while it is a lower tier brand now, like the set as far as retail value, resale value, it doesn't have as much. Score still is pretty good, and I have to give it its props there. I couldn't put it in the lowest tier here. And the lowest tier is not something I collect, which again isn't necessarily meaning it's bad. It just means that it's not something I collect, and that is obviously Origins, Illusions, Contenders, and Donruss Clearly. I know a lot of people like Donruss Clearly. I've never been the biggest fan of Donruss Clearly. Some of the cards, some of the acetate cards do look cool. I've just never personally been the biggest fan. But again, this is my opinion, right? And I want to make that clear. Like this entire list here is completely my opinion. So Contenders, I've never liked the look of the base card with the ticket, and I understand that Contenders Optic is the similar base card. It is quite similar. It's like a exact replica basically, but the inserts I like better. I like the green pulsars, the purple pulsars, the winning tickets. I like a lot of that better from Contenders Optic there. And Contenders just doesn't really do it for me. Illusions is a brand where you can get some nice stuff for cheap, serial numbered stuff. But at the same time, it is not really something that I look to pick up all that often. And Origins, again, some pretty cards, right? Some cards that I think look pretty cool, have the eye appeal, just not something that I pick up. So with that being said, let's recap it really fast here. In the great, I have Optic, Immaculate, and Prism. Really good is Mosaic, Select, and National Treasures. The good is Spectra, Obsidian, Contenders Optic, and Donruss. Decent, Rookies and Stars, Phoenix, and Score. And not something I collect is Origins, Illusions, Contenders, just Contenders, and Donruss Clearly. So let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about this. Again, this is not necessarily the right list, right? This is simply my list, and I'm curious to hear yours, of course. So let me know what you guys think, though. I wanted to do this because I wanted to continue this discussion on the sports card hobby with these card sets. I think it's fascinating, and we'll have other lists here. We'll have underrated card sets. We'll have card sets that were discontinued that we think they should bring back. We will have those as well. But if you guys haven't checked out our last video, go back and check that out too. I ranked my top 5 favorite card sets in the sports card hobby. But with that being said, I want to thank you, and we want to thank you for all the support on Trident Incorporated, Trident Inc. On whatnot. Really, the support has been incredible. On the road to 20,000 followers. Be sure to check out our store. We are constantly uploading things, brand new things into that store. The Anytime auctions. There's always going to be something there, and I can almost guarantee you, if you look through the store, there's going to be something there that catches your eyes. So be sure to check that out on whatnot. But thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and keep collecting.